Niddah Daf Samach Zayin, we're going to be discussing 7 different types of chatzitza that one should avoid during tefillah. The first one is namal, a port. The ships kick up a lot of mud, and therefore a woman has to be careful not to be toivel in a port because we're concerned that perhaps mud attached to her body and cause a chatzitza during tefillah. Even though after the tefillah you don't see mud, it's possible when a person comes out of the mikveh, they shake themselves off and the mud came off. The other one is tafshil. A woman who feeds her son a gooey, sticky food, it's possible that some of that food stuck to her, even though right now you don't see it, it's possible it was on her and it came off. The Gemara says that Shmuel's father, created mikvahs for his daughters. The halacha is that one is allowed to be toivel in a nar, in a river, even though the water is streaming. However, if most of the water, the majority of the water is rainwater, or water that comes off the Alps, let's say snow that melts, it's usher to be toivel in the nar. So Avu the Shmuel was concerned in Nisan that there's way too much rainwater, and therefore he created a mikvah where the water doesn't move. In Tishrei, he allowed his daughters to be toivel in the river, yet he put a mat on the floor so that the mud doesn't create a chatzitza. A scab of a wound, Rashi says specifically a wound that comes from bloodletting, is not a chatzitza for 3 days while it's moist, but once it hardens, it's considered a chatzitza. Lifluf is the mucus of the eye, the green stuff. Once it turns green, you know it's hard, it's already chatzitza. If it's not a chatzitza. Kechoil is the makeup, the blue makeup they put in their eye. If it's in the eye, then it's not a chatzitza. If it's above the eye, on the eyelid, then it's a chatzitza. The Gemara says if a woman blinks very quickly, that blinking causes it to be reduced and it's not considered chatzitza. If a woman opens up her eyes in the mikvah or closes them really tight, that creates a chatzitza, the fold in the skin. So the eyes have to be relaxed. There's also halacha that Rish Lakish says that the position a person is in during tevilah has to be relaxed. In other words, the hands cannot be up against the body, that creates chatzitza, the legs can't be touching, just as if a person is walking. The same applies to a man. There are 2 areas of concern when it comes to tefillah, the beis hashechi, the underarm, and the beis ha'erva. So the person has to be in a position where it looks like he's lifting something, not that the hand is above the head, but rather with the body, so let's say. And the same thing, bending down so everything is exposed and water could go in. When it comes to hair, 1 hair that is knotted is considered a chatzitza, 2 hairs is machloikis, 3 hairs is certainly not a chatzitza since water could get in there. Halacha Moshe Sinai tells us that in order for it to be a chatzitza, it has to be rubai umakbid. It has to be a majority, according to Rashi here, according to other Rishonim, body. Majority, let's say Rashi, of here has to be knotted, and makbid, you have to object to it being so. Therefore, Chachamim instituted 2 gzeras. They took the word rubai and they took the word makbid. From rubai, they said that even a majority where a person is not objecting, doesn't object, it's still considered chatzitza. And makbid is, even if it's a miyut, it's a minority, but he's makbid, he objects, it's also considered a chatzitza. But miyut, she'eni makbid, that's gzera, they weren't guys on that. Tefillah for a niddah is only on the 7th night. Leil Shmini cannot be toivel during the daytime like a zava. A zava could go in the day, mixes hayim gekulai, but by niddah it says tia benidasa, that 7 days she's a niddah and has to be at night. What happens if the night passed and she wants to go to the mikveh the following morning? Is that okay? Theoretically, it would be okay. There's an issue that her daughter might learn and pick up this thing that you could go to the mikveh during the day, and when she grows older, when she goes to the mikveh, she'll use that and say she could go to the mikveh during the 7th day, and therefore it's also for a woman to go to the mikveh during the day. However, there are a few cases where they made an exception in a city that there were lions or bad guys, robbers, etc. They said that it's mutter for women, or if it was very cold, it was mutter for the women to go to the mikveh during the day. Today that we go to the mikveh, we're makbid on niddah as if she's a zava. So in fact, a zava could go to the mikveh during the day. The Gemara says that Rav Chisda says since there's a gzera, a woman will go during the day, she'll be with her husband, then she'll see dam come out that retroactive she was a zava, and that's a problem. So the geyser that even by a zava she should only go to the mikveh at night. We know the concept of chafifa. Chafifa is where a woman washes thoroughly her entire guf, her hair, nails, teeth, all the beis hastarim, to make sure there's no chatzitza. When is this done? Well, there's an issue. If you allow her to do it at night before tefillah, she might rush through it. In fact, the halacha is Shulchan Aruch passing it should be at least an hour long, this process. And if you allow her to do it the day before, the night before Shkia, then it won't be close to the tefillah. So what do? So we allow her to do it before. It's better that she does it before and not rush. There are different opinions. What happens if a woman has to go to the mikvah Matzei Shabbos? When she should do the chafifa? There's a man that says she should do it Erev Shabbos, and there's a man that says she should do it Matzei Shabbos. It's better to do it Samach Chafifa. What about if there's a 2-day Yantif? So there's a man that says you could do it Erev Shabbos, and if it's 1-day Yantif, the man says you could do it 2 days before she goes to the mikvah, and if it's 2-day Yantif, like 2-day Rosh Hashanah before they had the calendar, so then you could go to the mikvah, you could do Chafifa 3 days before she actually goes to the mikvah. So the man that takes that a step further and says, since you could do Chafifa on Rosh Hashanah 3 days before, so then on a regular weekday you could also do Chafifa 3 days before. Rav Chisda argues and says, when it's necessary, when not. And our Mandamar that say that on Rosh Hashanah, since it's a 3-day gap, then in that case, we say she should not do Chafifa Erev Shabbos, she should do it on Matzei Rosh Hashanah. Have a wonderful day.